Controlling and auditing data management systems. Controls over data management systems fall into two general categories: access controls and backup controls. Access controls are designed to prevent unauthorized individuals from viewing, retrieving, corrupting, or destroying the entity's data. While backup controls ensure that in the event of data loss due to unauthorized access, equipment failure, or physical disaster, the organization can recover its database. Access controls. In a shared database environment, access control risks include corruption, theft, misuse, and destruction of data. These threats originate from both unauthorized intruders and authorized users who exceed their access privileges. Several control features are now reviewed. The first feature is the user view. The user view or subschema is a subset of the total database that defines the user's data domain and provides access to the database. In a centralized database environment, the database administrator has primary responsibility for user view design. Although user views can restrict user access to a limited set of data, they do not define task privileges such as read, delete, or write. Often, several users may share a single user view but have different authority levels. For example, users Smith, Jones, and Adams all may have access to the same set of data, which are the account number, customer name, account balance, and credit limit. Let us assume that all have read authority, but only Jones has authority to modify and delete the data. Effective access control requires more additional security measures, and this can be viewed on the database authorization table. The next feature, which is the database authorization table, contains rules that limit the actions a user can take. Each user is granted certain privileges that are coded in the authority table, which is used to verify the user's actions requests. For example, in the user view figure, Jones, Smith, and Adams have access to the same data attributes via a common user view. But the authorization table shows that only Jones has the authority to modify and delete the data. Each row in the authority table indicates the level of action, which are the read, insert, modify, or delete, that individuals can take based on their entering the correct password. Next feature is the user-defined procedure. This allows the user to create a personal security program or routine to provide more positive user identification than a single password. Thus, in the addition to a password, the security procedure asks a series of personal questions, such as the user's mother's maiden name or the father's name, which only the legitimate user should know. Data encryption. Database systems also use encryption procedures to protect highly sensitive stored data, such as product formulas, personal pay rates, password files, and certain financial data, thus making it unreadable to an intruder browsing the database. Data encryption translates data into another form or code so that only people with access to a secret key, formally called a decryption key or password, can read it. Encrypted data is commonly referred to as ciphertext, while unencrypted data is called plain text. The next feature is biometric devices. The ultimate in user authentication procedures is the use of biometric devices, which measures various personal characteristics such as fingerprints, voice prints, retina prints, or signature characteristics. These user characteristics are digitized and stored permanently in a database security file or on an identification card that the user carries. When an individual attempts to access the database, a special scanning device captures his or her biometric characteristics, which it compares with the profile data stored on a file or the ID card. If the data do not match, access is denied. Inference controls. This is about finding trade-offs to the tension between the increasing societal need for accurate statistical data and the legal and ethical obligation to protect privacy of individuals and enterprises which are the source of data for producing statistics. Inference controls attempts to prevent three types of compromises to the database. The first one is positive compromise, wherein the user determines the specific value of a data item. Second is negative compromise, wherein the user determines that a data item does not have a specific value. And the last one is approximate compromise, wherein the user is unable to determine the exact value of an item, but is able to estimate it with sufficient accuracy to violate the confidentiality of the data.